Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, James Francis, senior rower from St. Louis, who helped the Stars to 8 gold medals in the head of the Oklahoma Regatta this past weekend. And James, you were a part of 3 crews with wins over the weekend. What went into your performances?
Just a lot of teamwork. We've been just kind of getting back into the season for the past about month and a half, 2 months. So it was really nice to get those performances. It was a great kickoff to the season. So I'm really excited, and I'm glad going into my senior year that we have a ton of dedicated freshmen and sophomores and juniors who are just really dedicated to what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. So it was an amazing start to the season.
2 wins in the night sprints for you in the Collegiate 4 and in the Collegiate 8. What were those events like specifically?
Well, those events are just awesome. It's just after going through 4,000 meters, just doing a 500 meter is much shorter. So it's just kind of fun to get out there. And it was awesome to race against the alumni 8, 8 rowers and 9 rowers came back after they graduated from here, and we got to talk to them and meet them. And we got to race against them in the 500 meter sprint. So it was just a great time, So, and we got to put down some fast times and just really enjoy each other's company. So it was a great start to the season. So it was awesome.
You and your teammate Craig Olages not only won this past weekend, but also captured a title in May at the Dad Vale. Tell us about that race.
All throughout the fall season and into the spring and over the winter, Craig and I just were really training hard, and to get that kind of performance in the spring at Dad Vale was just, it was phenomenal for us. And it's nice that we put in all that work and we got something great out of it. So it just shows if you put in the work, you put in the time, you can get something good out of it. So.
You also competed with the U.S. in the World Under-23 over the summer. What did you take away from that experience?
I can, even waking up the day before the A final, I can remember everything just so vividly, just waking up, getting breakfast with the team, going over what our strategy is going to be, and then actually being at the start line when they're saying all the different countries' names, and then attention go, and we're just right off of the blocks. We didn't have the fastest first 500 meters. We were down a little bit, but we knew we had a really good aerobic base, so we just had to hold that for the rest of it. And then, unfortunately, at the final, last 250, we weren't able to sprint as much. But coming out of that competition with a bronze medal was, it was unreal. So it was, that whole experience is something I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, And all those guys in the boat were just, amazing guys. The team dynamic from that boat, I wanted to carry that on to OCU, how good of friends we were. And luckily, Craig and I have already kind of implemented all that stuff into the OCU. So we're all, kind of building that culture that I kind of learned from in the quad and in the pair with Craig, and building that for a bigger program, like OCU. So.
What are your expectations for yourself and for your team for the coming year?
My expectations, I just want us to put down some really fast times, really get a really great base, have the culture there, so that when more freshmen come in, we're just able to keep building. It's just brick by brick, and I want to see OCU, within the top, either in the A final or wherever within the next 10 years or something like that. I just want to see, I want to look back at OCU and be this was my program. Me and my teammates helped build this culture, you know what I mean? So that's kind of my hopes for OCU. But for this year, I just want us to lay down that base, lay down that culture now, and then, just continue to build off of that. So,
what brought you to OCU?
There was a rower named Matt Madama who I looked highly towards, and he went to OCU, and he enjoyed his time here. So, and he was into sculling, and I was also into sculling. So I was like, I'll come to OCU for some of the sculling experience. But I've learned so much more than just sculling. So.
What's your major?
I'm a double major in psychology and human performance.
So what kind of career plans do you have for yourself?
Not quite sure yet. I would love to go into like exercise physiology or maybe chiropractics or sports psychology or something along those lines. But like, because of my majors, psychology and human performance, I would not have been able to accomplish what I accomplished over the past few years without those majors. Like, there's a huge psychology side of sports, and there's also the human performance side of sports. Like, if you're not mentally in the game, then you're not going to be able to perform well. And if you're not physiologically, if you don't get the hydration on point, if you don't get the nutrition on point, if you don't put in the work and all that stuff, like, you're not going to be able to be your best standard. So I learned from like my professors like Dr. Miller, Dr. Hackman, Dr. Shao, and Dr. Bracken, like all of them from all of their classes. I was able to kind of build a platform for myself to kind of keep my performance increasing. So.
All right, talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, James Francis. You can follow the Stars on OCUsports.com.
What I've learned the most from golf is to have integrity in everything you say and do.
One of the biggest lessons of that sports impacts my daily life is discipline.
Be a champion of character, it just means to realize first that you're a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Being a part of NAIA is something that I'm going to keep with me forever because it's not only made me a better athlete, but it's made me a better person.
The NAIA really just cares about their student athletes and just the experience in general at the school. And I think that's really important.
The NAIA stands for, has great core values. One that's most important to me is servant leadership. Being able to serve your community is a huge reason why I chose the NAIA.
I am a champion of character.
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 Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to rowing coach Hadzo Habibovic. Stars got off to a successful season with the head of the Oklahoma Regatta this past weekend. And coach, 8 golds in the head of the Oklahoma. What were some of the highlights from this weekend?
I think just overall, the team performance was really exciting. This was our first regatta of the year. This is my first regatta as head coach. This past month, we've really just been working on establishing a culture. And so coming out and just showing a really strong performance early on was one of our goals. And so I wouldn't say there's an individual boat that's highlighted the weekend. I'd say just the team overall, just a really dominant performance across the board was kind of the overall highlight. It was what we were striving to do early on, and so it was just exciting that we accomplished that as a team.
You guys captured the Ron Norick Cup as part of the highlights of this weekend. What did that mean to you guys?
It meant a lot. Ron Norick was an old mayor of OKC, pretty good ties to OCU. So, whenever you're able to win a trophy, especially the size of the Ron Norick Cup, it's always pretty exciting. So, yeah, I think it showed our dominance in the 8 early on, some early season speed, so it was just exciting whenever you can win a trophy.
Tell us about your experience as a student athlete here at OCU.
I mean, I loved my experiences here. I got my undergrad and master's degree here in accounting. Rowed for 4 years. I was a graduate assistant for a year for the rowing team before coming on as head coach. I mean, I loved my time here. I think it's something that whenever I talk to recruits now, it's something I really like to push. Just kind of saying I've gone through the school, I've gone through the program. I've experienced all this firsthand. It's given me a lot as an athlete and as an individual. And so it's something that, you know, I can't stress enough as far as student life, athletics, the training facilities are unreal. So it's just something that I like to connect to, especially when I'm talking to athletes now.
You also competed internationally in the World University Games. What did you take away from that experience?
I mean, life-changing, something I'll never forget. I competed in the U.S. Men's 8 in the World University Games in 2015. It was held in South Korea. We were able to win a gold medal. It was the first time the U.S. have won a gold medal in that event. And, you know, kind of like Jimmy was saying earlier, you know, it's something that you can just remember so vividly, day by day, practice by practice, you know, training all summer long. And then once you get to the event, you know, there's nothing like it when you're, you know, eating next to all these athletes, top athletes from around the world, from all these different countries, and then you get to line up against them and, you know, race them for a world title. You know, there's nothing like that. So it's something I remember very vividly, and, you know, it's something I cherish dearly. So,
catch us up on what was going on between your OCU career and when you made your way back here to be the coach.
I spent about 2 years working at a CPA firm. So I tried to pursue the corporate route in the accounting world. Not gonna lie, I wasn't the happiest. I was doing some coaching part-time while I was working at the firm, and I just kind of started to realize that my passion was in coaching, in this sport, in rowing. And so my old high school club that I rowed for called me up 2 years ago and basically said, you know, we have a position available, like, would you move to Chicago to coach full time? And I think that was kind of the moment that spurred me to move from the corporate world to the coaching world. And I was very thankful for that at the time. So I started coaching full time at the high school level, and then when the OCU job opened up, I figured I had to apply. And so this is my first year with OCU, and I'm really excited about it. We've implemented a lot of good changes in the last 2 months already, and we're really just looking to keep building off of this now.
What has shaped your coaching philosophies?
Oh, so much. You know, I think I'd like to take a lot from all the coaches I've worked with throughout my rowing career. I've been involved in the sport for over 10 years now. So I'd say, you know, there's snippets I've taken from every coach that I've been an athlete for, and every coach that I've worked with. So, I mean, I would say the biggest individual that impacted me was my first coach in high school. His name was Michael Tanner. I think he had a huge impact on my life, not only in the rowing world, but as an individual, just implementing a lot of just life lessons and philosophies. And then after that, you know, when I came to OCU, Coach Cam Brown, got to watch him build this program up from the bottom up, and kind of establish that foundation. And so I think every coach I've worked with has helped in some sort of way. But I would say those two individuals definitely were a big factor.
What do you look for in a prospective student athlete?
There's a lot that goes into that. You know, it's not just from the rowing side. You know, it's not just erg scores. You know, it's not their height, it's not their weight. I like to get to meet them. I like to get to talk to them. If they're not able to come out on a visit, I'd love to get them on the phone. You know, I just feel like you can pick up so much more when you talk to an individual. So there's a lot of things I'm looking for when I'm talking to athletes and recruits. But it really comes down to, you know, do they want to come out here and help build this program up? You know, that drive. You know, you can be super talented, but if you're lazy, you know, I don't want to work with you. But if you're showing some good speed and you're really showing the drive to come out here and help establish this foundation and build this program up, those are the kind of kids, you know, I want on my team.
What's unique about OCU?
I mean, there's a lot. I think the biggest takeaway is just the relationships, you know, the day-to-day life. I feel like if I ever had any classes that I was struggling with when I was in college, the professors were more than willing to talk to me and help me through them. The team atmosphere is, you know, one of the best, I think. And so, you know, I think that small class structure really helps a lot of people. And I know it's a lot different from a lot of the big universities that kids talk to, but I think it's something that's overlooked a lot, to be honest. You know, some people want to go to the big schools, but, you know, if you come here, you get a really unique atmosphere, and I really think it does help set you up, you know, to be successful here, not only academically, but just for the rest of your life as well.
All right, talking to rowing coach Hadzo Habibovic. You can follow the Stars on OCUsports.com.